Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we are going to go over a Stamina Templar build for Wolfhunter. Now I know I haven't uploaded in a while. Reason being is that every time I would upload a video it would automatically get set to private. I couldn't make it go public, and I guess because being a smaller channel, YouTube took their sweet time on getting that situated. But anyways, that's been situated, that's been worked out, so I'll be pumping out a lot more videos here in the coming weeks. As you can see, I'm sporting the new Jamora dye, or the new Jamora outfit from the Witches Festival. This armor is absolutely amazing, and it is dyed pink and black. Now, if you're not aware, October is Breast Cancer Awareness, and in the description I'm going to leave kind of a site that's kind of a navigator to multiple breast cancer awareness sites, through charities, volunteer works, things like that. So if you'd like to see what you could do to possibly help out, we all know somebody that's been affected by cancer in general. So if you'd like to take a look and see if there's anything you could possibly do, feel free to check that link out. It'll be in the description. Anyways, on to the build. My max health is 18.4. My max stamina is 37.6. My stamina recovery is 755. Now I'm using basic body stat food. Also, I am an Imperial, so my max health, my max stamina would be higher to, let's say, if you were a red card or a Nord or Orc, mine are higher. Weapon damage is 3,000. Weapon crit is 53.6%. My spell resistance is 1,800 and 1,500. Or 18,000 and 15,000, my bad. That's on my dual bar, back bar. My stat weapon damage is 2.3 and weapon crit is 59.8%. Spell resistance and physical resistance go up a little bit, but that's just because the trait on the bow. Now, I have 64 points into stamina. The boon I'm running is the Thief. So, let's go ahead and get into the champion points, because sometimes I always tend to forget those. So let's just go ahead and knock those out of the way. I have 26 into Warlord, 31 into Sprinter, 64 into Tenacity, 64 into Mooncalf, 44 into Tumbling, 31 into Shadow Ward, none there, 35 into Physical Weapon Expert, 48 into Master at Arms, 64 Mighty, 22 Piercing, 51 Precise Strikes, and 40 Thermometers. 51 Spell Shield, 44 Medium Armor Focus, 64 Hardy, 64 Elemental Defender, and 37 Quick Recovery. That's it for the champion. Now, weapons. First set 5 piece I'm running is the Briarheart set. I'm running a Nern Dagger with a poison damage enchant and an Infused Axe with a weapon damage enchant on it. Now, what Briarheart does, it gives you weapon crit, maximum stamina, weapon crit, and when you deal critical damage, you have a 10% chance to increase your weapon damage by 439 for 10 seconds. While its effect is active, your critical strikes heal you for 595 health. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. Now, the other set you could run is Ravaging, which I played around with. It is nice. It gives you, your weapon damage will be a little higher, and the 5 piece gives you a lot more weapon damage, and your health is higher. But, I don't know. I tend to like Briarheart a little over Ravaging. So, Maelstrom Bow is defending with a weapon damage enchant. You can put a disease damage enchant on this. You can put an Azure Magicka enchant on it to help with sustain. Normally, on the back bar, you would want Infused or Nern, but defending works just as good. A little more defense on the back bar. But normally you would want Infused or Nern. It's up to you. What Maelstrom Bow does, increase the damage volley deals by 156 each tick. The bonus increases by 54 every time volley ticks. Now, if you don't have a Maelstrom Bow, just any regular bow, I mean, you can get a Briarheart bow and just throw some double dot poisons on it. You'll be just as good. Monster set, we're rocking Veldrath. With heavy helmet, Divines, max down, and medium shoulders, Divines with max down. We're running a 6-1 setup here. If you want to, you can run the 5-1-1 setup. I mean, your stats go up a little bit, but it's up to you. On tanks and healers, I like to run the 5-1-1, but most stam characters, I like to run the 6-1. But you can definitely run the 5-1-1. Wouldn't make that much of a difference. Veldrath gives you weapon damage, and when you deal damage, you have a 20% chance to spawn 3 disease spores in front of you after 1 second that deals 13.5k disease damage to the first enemy they hit. That can occur once every 9 seconds. Now, if you don't have Veldrath, because this does drop from Cradle of Shadows, and Cradle of Shadows can be a pain on Vet. especially that second from last boss. If he gets really glitchy through the dungeon, it can be a real pain. You can run Stormfist here. You can run Celine's because you aren't up close. And you can also run Crags. Crags drops from Fungal Grotto. Celine's is Celine's Web, of course. And Stormfist comes from Tempest Island. Either one of those, you can replace Veldrift with. Definitely, it would work. Now, the second 5-piece set we were rocking it is War Machine. Now, War Machine, I just like War Machine a lot on a Stamina Templar. It is absolutely amazing. I run Divines on all the pieces. Divines with max stamina, all on body. Now, if you wanted to, you could run Infused on the chest and legs, and Helmet if you want to for more resources. But it's up to you. If you're not an Imperial, I would probably recommend running Infused on the legs and chest, at least, to give you some more stamina. But now what War Machine does, this drops from Halls of Fabrication, which is a trial in Morrowind, and it gives you max stamina. It gives you Minor Slayer at all times, increasing your damage done to dungeons and trial monsters by 5%. It gives you weapon damage, and when you use an ultimate ability, you and the closest 2 allies within 20 meters of you gain Major Slayer for 10 seconds, increasing your damage done to dungeon and trial monsters by 15%. Now, we have a ultimate that costs, I think, 72 ultimate Crescent Sweep, and you will get that back within 12 to 15 seconds. So literally, this probably has like a 2 to 4 second downtime for the most part. Now, in most trial groups, when it comes to the team, normally we have 4 stam, 4 magicka, or depending on the trial, we'll have, we at least try to have 2 staminas. Now, if it's one where we're 4-4, what happens is that we'll have 2 running Reliquins or 3 running Reliquins, and run 1 running War Machine. If you don't have a guild that can get through Halls of Fabrication, Reliquin is probably the way to go for the set here. If you're not so good at mixing your weaving your light attacks in between your abilities, the Reliquin isn't going to do you any good. Because Reliquin, you have to light attack, you have to weave your light attacks in to really get the effect of Reliquin. If you are not weaving, then it's just going to fall off and it's not going to do a whole lot of DPS. You're not going to get that optimal DPS. So, if you don't have War Machine, you can run any Craglorn trial and get VO, Vicious Ophidian, or you can even do it in AA and get Ophidian Celerity, because it will give you Ophidian Celerity is like the baby sister to VO. You're not going to get Minor Slayer, you're not going to get that weapon damage on the 5-piece, but you will still get the 8% reduced cost and things like that. The 5 pieces are very similar, or you can just drop War Machine altogether and run Automaton if you don't have any sets from the trials. Automaton is very good on a Stamina Templar as well. Jewelry wise, we're running the Brightheart, all robust, all weapon damage. Now, Stamina Templars do not have executes, so if you wanted to, I would definitely recommend making 2 of these Bloodthirsty. But if you don't have the Transmutation Stones, robust is fine. It's not a huge loss, but it would definitely help at that last 25%. So, skills. My bad. Skill-wise, front bar, biting jabs. Your main spammable. Launch a relentless assault, strike an enemy in front of you 4 times with your spear. Spear deals 3.3k physical damage to the closest enemy and 1.4k physical damage to all other enemies. Final strike reduces movement speed of the closest enemy by 70% for 2 seconds. Activate this ability grants you major savagery, increasing your weapon critical rating by 2.1k for 8 seconds. Now, essentially, on our front bar, as you can see, our weapon crit is 53.6, and then when we jab up, it goes up to 63.5. So it's one of the reasons why we're running Briarheart as well, because we will crit a lot. So that will pretty much stay active at all times. Outside of that, running Slash. Slash an enemy with weapons to cause deep lacerations, dealing 2.8k physical damage with each weapon and causing them to bleed for an additional 11.7k physical damage over 9 seconds. You also reduce their movement speed by 40% for 4 seconds. Now, when you hit somebody with this, you'll see the little timer up there. You want to wait until that timer runs out. You want to wait for that last second when you start reapplying things. You don't want to reapply it too soon, because then you're taking away damage. You're overcasting, so you're wasting stamina. You definitely want to keep it going. As soon as it hits the 1, hits the 0, you want to reapply before it goes off. Purifying Power of Light. Summon an expanding beam, pure sunlight to doom an enemy, dealing 5,000 Physical damage to them, copying all their damage taken for 6 seconds and releasing 20% of it as additional physical damage to them. Maximum copy damage 22.5k. Targets are also affected with minor fracture and minor breach, reducing physical and spell resistance by 1.3k for 6 seconds. So again, this is a debuff. You're going to debuff them a little bit and allow you to do more damage. So essentially, you see, it's going to pop. It only did 1,000, if that. So when you pop, let's just jab them a couple times here. So after a couple of hits, you'll see it did almost, 10, 11k? Something like that. So you want to keep that up as it goes on rotation. It's going to be one of your main abilities as well. You definitely want to keep that up because one, they're going to lose some resistances, and on top of that, it's free damage when it goes off. So, Deadly Cloak. Create a ring of floating razors around you, dealing 2.5k physical damage to all nearby enemies every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. The razor shields you from shrapnel, reducing damage you take from area effect attacks by 25%. Now what this does is that it's 15 seconds. You just cast it, leave it alone. If you have somebody with fire on the ground coming at you, or somebody shoots fire from the staff and it hits the ground, this right here can save you from that. I mean, you're going to take 25% less damage. This has literally saved me before. I remember being in Blessed Crucible, got caught by the little fire on the ground just for a second, and I survived with 2,000 HP. If I didn't have this, it probably would have been a one-shot on Vet Heart. So, this right here can definitely save you, and it also does a little bit of damage. 3.8, 3.8. So those are all crits. What is it when it doesn't crit? 2.3. Okay. I don't even think it's 2.3 because I think Briarheart activated it, so it might be a little less than that normally. But, anyways, Repentance. Dead bodies on the ground, healing you. Court the souls of the fallen. Essentially, all the enemies you've killed on the ground. Healing you and your allies for 2.9k health and restoring 2.9k stamina to you for each corpse in the area. While slotted, you got minor fortitude, minor endurance, minor intellect, increasing your health, stamina, and magic recovery by 10%. Essentially, I keep this on the front bar, all for the minor fortitude, the recovery by 10%. So, if you want to, though, you could definitely put it on the back bar and put vigor on your front bar if you have it. If you want the heal on the front bar, but at least with Repentance, it's a nice. So while you're running around just jabbing everything, you throw out your dots, and then you can Repentance. Your stamina will go back up, and so will your health. So if you're not running with a healer, this could definitely save a life. Don't be afraid to cast this. So as you're hitting things, if it's close, kill a couple enemies, pop it. Kill a couple more, pop it. I mean, if it keeps you alive, it keeps you alive. I mean, if it allows you to kill things, use it. And abuse it if you have to. Crescent Sweep. Swing your spear around with Holy Vengeance, dealing 10.1k physical damage to all nearby enemies and additional 4.9k physical damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Each enemy in front of you takes 66% additional damage. Now, this is the ultimate that will allow us to spam our War Machine. 72 ultimate, we'll get that back in no time. See, that hit for 25k right there. So, I'm going to let that rebuild. But essentially, I've had this hit in a trial for 32 to 34k. So, and it is a quick ultimate, and we will be able to hit that consistently. So you got Major Courage, you have your Briarheart pop, and you pop them with it, and you'll hit, it crit 35k, 32k. It just depends. If Briarheart wasn't active, it was like 32k. If Briarheart was active, it was around 35. Now, so you gotta imagine if you're firing that off every 10 seconds, just 32k damage. It's definitely nice. So let's see, where did our ultimate end up back up at? 30. Let's build our ultimate up here again. And of course, this will go faster because while you have bodies on the ground, while you're actually killing things. One of the reasons why it will go faster as you're killing things is because of the passives in your fighter guild. Banish the Wicked. You generate 9 ultimate when you kill an undead, danger, or werewolf. So this will also help it go faster. So you get 9 ultimate every time you kill something. So, I mean, you kill 5 enemies, you're looking at 45 ultimate. You just need, what, 17 or 27 ultimate. So you're good. You'll have that back in no time. So let's go ahead and kill this and show the damage that it can do. Alright, so it's down. Also, when you hit them with it, if it doesn't kill them instantly, you'll see some pulsating damage from it. So it does pulsate some damage. So let's see, make sure he's active. So as he hits, you'll start seeing it pulse. That is from them. So as you can see, so it also has kind of a dot. Bow bar, poison injection, shoot an arrow code and poison an enemy dealing 5.2k poison damage, suggests 9.6k poison damage over 10 seconds. Damage over time deals up to 260% more damage to enemies under 50% health. Now, like I said, we don't have an execute, but that is as close as we're going to get to one. So essentially, let's go ahead and burn this down up under 25%. We'll just jab it to death. We don't want to throw our dots down. We don't want to. Alright, here we go. So what's going to happen is that normally poison injection will hit for 1,000 or so. When they're under 25, you'll see the text here. 5.5, 5.7, 5.9. So literally poison injection is, that was 10.5. So as you can see, it gets stronger as he gets lower on health. But it's still a good dot. You still want to keep this dot on him at all times from the start, because of the fact that, let's see, so it was 5, as you can see, it was building up strong. Now it's 1.7, 1.6. So it's not going to be as strong as it is at first, but as you can see, I mean, those dots were hitting 10k there at the end when they got an execute range. That will definitely help you execute faster. So you want to keep poison injection on them when it gets closer to the end as a Stam Templar, because again, that is the only dot you have. Endless Hell. Launch multiple arrows in the sky to rain down, dealing 1.3k physical damage to enemies in the target area every 0.5 seconds for 10 seconds. Massive dot. You know what this. You should know what it is. That's pretty much it. It just rains down arrows constantly. That's it. And as a Maelstrom, using a Maelstrom bow, it will get stronger. And on your dual bar, you see that 2, 3, 8. It's a lot. Maelstrom bow alone will increase your damage, your DPS, by 4k at least. Caltrops. Hurl an exploding ball of caltrops that scatter over the target area, dealing 1.8k physical damage every 1 second, reducing movement speed by 30%. When the ball of caltrops initially explodes, it deals an immediate 2.2k physical damage and reduces movement speed of enemies hit by 70% for 3 seconds. Now, this is a PvP ability. You got to get your assault and support to rank 6, which, you can jump into battlegrounds and just run some battlegrounds, or you can jump in Shore Vivek, a huge campaign with your color, with at least a bar of your color or something like that, and just shout out looking for group and just ride the Zerg until you get it filled up. I mean, I think it normally takes 4 to 5 hours. So if you just jump in for a couple hours a night or an hour a night, you can get it relatively quickly within a couple of days. Resolving Vigor. Well, caltrops. This is definitely this is your strongest dot if you don't have a Maelstrom bow. So if you don't have Maelstrom bow, you definitely want to get caltrops, because it is going to be your stronger dot over Endless Hell. If you have a Maelstrom bow, Endless Hell is going to do more damage. If you don't, Razor Caltrops is going to do more damage. So, Vigor. Renew your force, resolving, healing yourself for 11.4k health over 5 seconds, nearby allies for 8.8k health over 5 seconds. Now, Vigor is another PvP skill. You get it at 4, I want to say. It's 4 or 5, I'm not sure. I want to say 4. It's just a nice little heal. Heals you and surrounding areas, surrounding allies. So, if you don't have Caltrops and Vigor, if you don't have them, you could put like you could definitely put, let me see, I might not have it learned. You could put Restoring Focus here, just for kind of that power. And then you could put Power of Light. I would put Power of Light on the back bar here to replace Vigor. I don't know where I'm going. And then throw Hidden Blade, but I would definitely morph this into whichever one you prefer, Shroud Daggers or the Poison one. So this way you get Major Brutality without ever having to use a weapon powered pot. This right here gives you Major Brutality for 20 seconds. You can have this on your front bar if you like. But if you have, this is the setup I would use if I didn't have Vigor or Caltrops. But if you have them, caltrops is definitely a good dot to have. And then lastly, rearming, well not lastly, but rearming trap. Basically, you set a sharpened blade trap at your location, which takes 1.5 seconds. Arming lasts for 1 minute. When triggered, the trap deals 2.9k physical damage and an additional 7.7k physical damage over 6 seconds. Immobilize enemy for 6 seconds. Grants you minor force, increasing your critical damage done by 10%. After being triggered, the trap resets and can be triggered once more. So, this is what it looks like. You're just going to drop it. It's going to pop. Normally, you'll see white light come up. But we do a lot of crit damage, as you can see. Those yellow numbers are all crit. So you definitely want rearming trap down and triggered. So that way you deal more damage. A lot more damage. And then finally, the ultimate on the back bar is Ballista. Now you could put Dawnbreaker here if you choose to. It is just choice if you want to. I like having Ballista on the back bar because starting fights, I'll pop Ballista. It procs War Machine and everything else, and it's a huge dot. So, let me build up my ultimate here. Yeah, pop it. So, I think it shows up on the stat sheet when I first use it. I'm not too entirely sure, but I think it will increase the damage of Ballista to begin with. Okay. So, I guess let's go ahead and kill it. We don't want Ballista stopping in the middle of it. Alright. So right now, Ballista damage is setting at 61.9. That's with Briarheart activated. Without Briarheart, it is 56.7. So let's see if War Machine, we'll show the numbers on War Machine. So it procs 63. So it goes up quite a bit with War Machine. So, I mean, that did 25% of its health. Exactly. Wow. Okay. So, it is nice to have, and it procs War Machine, it procs everybody around you, and allows you to do a lot of damage relatively quickly. Now, something else I want to go over, because I think that's pretty much everything that I've covered. When it comes to dots and things like that, I don't know why. I've been DPS testing, I've been doing things like that. With an old, you see this, when I use my dots, they just go out. There's no second casting. I used to keep it to where I'd have to aim and then hit it again. You will increase your damage output by changing that. So if you go to quick cast ground abilities, have it on, so that way, if you put it on automatic, it can take a second because you've got to aim, so it's double casting. So you've got to hit it twice. It is good if you're pretty bad with your aim, but if you're up on your target, set that thing to, have it set to on. So that way, it's just a quick. You can block and you can move on with your rotation. So you just throw it, block to cancel, and then just go on with your rotation. It is always nice. So, but that is the build for the Stamina Templar that I've been rocking. When it comes to pots, you will use weapon critical pots, or essence of weapon pots for your major brutality, your things like that. If you want to, like I said, if you don't have them, you can drop your, if you don't have caltrops and vigor and you're running the dagger on the front, then you can just use trash pots. It's not the end of the world there. But yeah, that is the build. So until next time, have fun.